that as yeah.
Some people would. Definitely, yeah, not the full scope. So you've kind of branched out now. Do you identify yourself as like, do you think you're a bit more aggressive, a bit more of a defensive player? Like, what's your overall style, or what do you really enjoy? Like, what's the
Yeah,
funnest StarCraft for you?
I would say just probably like 3 to 4 base max out. That's kind of where I feel comfortable. Usually, if it gets too far into the late game, I find a way to lose my whole army. And yeah, that's never good. And early game, I feel like I'm always late when I attack. So maybe a Zealot charge all in Berserk here and there, but not really a very aggressive type.
Okay, so kind of like mid game, like macro hard into a big giant kind of mid gamey army, and that's usually where the games are won or lost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay, awesome. I I think we got everything up. Looks like, yep, you got the document open. You can type in there as well, right? You've got proper editing rights. So,
Yeah.
um,
Awesome.
awesome source. All right. So what we're going to do is I'll try to keep, I'm just going to get rid of all this info here, if that's okay. And we can add the kind of practice partner info for a future one if we needed. And then we can just start just below this info. I like to kind of just write the notes as we go. So we're going to make a heading, 2nd April, and we're just going to write stuff down. So we're going to start with PvP. I guess we can start by kind of diving straight into game. If you go in game, you're on NA, right?
Uh, I usually play on Europe, but I can come in on NA. That's
Oh
fine.
no, we can go EU if you want.
Yeah.
But you do live in North America, right? So
Yes.
I guess it'd be better ping. So we might as well just practice there. Maybe just hop over to
Okay.
NA then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
I think we've got Americans at this time of day helping us out mostly. Not many Europeans still awake, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that way we'll give you guys more even ping and PvP, a matchup where micro is pretty important. So we've got Steven here. El Stubit was in the party. Is a little bit lower than what we wanted, but we could use. For some reason, I don't see him as in the... Oh, Steven's not in the party. Okay, we've got El Stubit in the party. We don't have Steven. So I'm not sure how good Steven's Protoss is. Yo, how good... Oops. Wrong keyboard. How good is your Protoss? Play much? So hopefully Steven helps us out since he offered. If there is anyone else who is much closer to 3600 MMR, 35, 3700, 3800, anything like that, please hop into chat channel Piggy on the NA server. And if you can do the same thing, Bojo. So just /join space Piggy. And your in-game account, is it called Times Change on NA as well?
Yep. Yep.
All right, let us know when you're in there. And if you see me, shoot me an invite to party. And if that doesn't work, try joining...
Am I here? I think I joined it, but
I see you. There we go. Said hey. All right, sweet as.
awesome.
Okay. I'm just gonna host US West if that's okay. Hopefully that should be fine. Should be decent ping for everyone. Because Steven is Australian, so I think if we give the other ones, it'll be absolutely ruinous. Steven apparently is not in chat and is not responding in games. We might just start with El Stubit, which is probably good. Because El Stubit's a little bit lower than you. FTE says, I'm EU. I'm 35-ish. I can help. A little lower, about 3,300 at the moment. That'd be perfect, FTE. If you can hop on and help us out, we'll probably use you in the second game. Even if we hop over to EU, that would be totally cool. So, all right. Until Steven responds, we'll remove them from the party. Let's just host Nightshade. You don't veto Nightshade, do you?
No, I don't veto any maps actually.
Okay, cool. Same as me, though. I play random, so I have obviously, anything that's imbalanced in one matchup, I can take advantage of. So, from the other side of it, so there's not much reason for me to veto. Okay, so PvP. So with your game plan, you're currently doing, just refreshing, you were doing a super defensive build order. And I did send you back an email, right, saying, okay, cool. So the goal, I'm trying to remember, was it an email I said kind of try to focus on doing a 45 probe timing attack to really take control? I'm trying to remember exactly what guidance I gave you before we got to this point.
I don't think any. It was just kind of like you should be okay going at the mid game or something like that. But I don't remember anything else
No
in the email.
worries. Let me just see if I had any good wisdom that I've forgotten. Got the email open. Okay. Very defensive Mac oriented build. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was kind of, I remember, okay, proxy 3 gate, 6 stalkers. Okay, cool. All right, yes. Now I remember. So I was looking at kind of how you played, and you kind of wrote out that you don't really understand the matchup in terms of composition very well, and you don't really have too clear of a game plan.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
are you usually kind of ending up in charge lot Archon, or is it like super random? You're like, sometimes I got disruptors,
Yeah.
sometimes I got
No,
Colossus.
I never go disrupt. I just like the charged Archon Immortal is my kind of like where I'm going at. But at some point, whenever I attack, I feel like the other guy either has more Archons or more Immortals, and regardless of what, like if I have more Immortals, I lose. If I have more Archons, they have more Immortals, I lose. It's that's how I feel about it. I just really feel like I misread the entire matchup. I don't know when I'm ahead. I don't know when I'm behind. It's just this kind of a fog the whole matchup. I feel scared all the time.
Yeah, well, your build order is one of the most defensive build orders. It's kind of like I guess I would describe your current build order because it's basically a Phoenix with like not a super fast expand, and you're kind of doing a lot of scouting and light harassment and reacting and steadily building up.
Mhm.
It's kind of like you're balancing on a plank and you've got a sharpened toothbrush as a weapon. Um, or actually, a better analogy is you watch Indiana Jones, right? Like when he's in the bazaar and the dude's got like the sword and he's spinning it around and shit, and he just pulls his gun out and shoots him. So there's a lot of builds that are just pulling the gun out and shooting the other guy, and often if that bullet lands, it just kills them. Your build's going to take a lot more deflecting bullets with a sword, basically. So because Phoenix are just kind of weak units, you've
I
really got to
definitely feel
use
that.
them just right. Yeah. So I reckon move away from Phoenix and have some sort of sharp pressure or attack built into what we're doing. So there's a few different ways we can go about this. We can play purely one base all in. Let's start writing out these options, by the way. Let's okay, so we've got to choose a direction before we get into game. Otherwise, we're just wasting time, right? Because I can already see that you're kind of vague and you're happy to pick up a brand new direction. So we kind of want to
Oh yeah.
probably find something from scratch. So rather than watching you play a game and go, let's change everything, let's just go straight into the theory, and we'll get into the game in just a minute. So I'll just say thank you to El Stubert and tell them to wait. I'll see if Steven's willing to join. All right. So direction, one base all in every game, and there's 1,000 of those that are available. One base all in / heavy aggression, and that's totally fine. I've recently got my MMR the highest it's been with my Protoss in a long time, with proxy robo every game, doing an immortal stalker prism push. Very micro oriented. There's a lot of different variations that you can do there. We can also do fast expand into a quick follow up push, which is kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Did you watch the stream at all today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So did you see any of my PvPs?
well, I mean, yeah. I saw part of the one versus parting, and it
Yeah.
was awesome. So technical, the force fields and stuff. It was just
Yeah, so that's like a good kind of build because you're like, oh, I'm expanding, woo, doop de doop, and then you proxy a delayed gate, you delay your attack, and you do a nice push. One base all in heavy aggressive, fast expand to a quick follow up push. That'd be the proxy third gate, surprise sentry stalker. That's something that's pretty technical. Another one is just a straight up 8 stalker pressure into expand plus robo twilight. So that's actually the build I'm probably thinking we'll go with. 8 stalker pressure. Obviously, it's up to you, whatever excites you the most. But that build order is basically where you chrono your first 2 stalkers and you immediately build a third pylon on the low ground so that you're not supply blocked. And then you basically just build another 2 stalkers and another 2. And then your scouting probe builds a pylon. And basically, your 5th and 6th stalker finish just as warp gate finishes. So they walk out. Your warp gates transform. You warp 2 stalkers in at that pylon. They're slow warp ins, but because your stalkers are walking all the way across the map, they kind of join up. And then you hit 8 stalkers, and the goal is to hit with 8 stalkers before 4 minutes, we're going to say. You're probably not going to hit it that sharp for quite a while, let's actually aim for the stars. Let's say 3 minutes 50. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But that's the goal in the sky. And remember, the only thing that's important for you with benchmarking is doing better than your last game, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you hit 5 minutes the first game, you're like, well, yeah, that sounds bad compared to the pro timing, right? But if you can do 4 minutes 50 the next game, 4:40 the game after that, that's all that matters. As long as we're improving on our own steps, you'll get more wins, right? So that's the build I'm most tending towards, because it goes into very generic macro after. It's just like, start building immortals, you probe up your natural, you can add charge, +1, get 8 gateways, few immortals, few archons, go for a charge that archon immortal push. Okay, let's do it.
Sounds great. I actually feel like whenever I did the Stargate build, I would delay my Twilight so long that ultimately I would have very few archons when they hit. So actually, that was I never knew when's the right time to get your Twilight, so you don't delay your.
It's really hard with Phoenix play as well, because you spend so much gas on these units that aren't going to help you in that big fight. So
Yeah.
there's like a lot of points where you're like, cool, I'm ahead in this game, but like you just take a fight that's just like you actually needed to wait for one more round of archons or something, or like the other guy has a little bit of a better concave and you just die and you're like, what's going on in this matchup? You know, it's like it really throws your head through a loop. So let's just do a standard opening here. 2-gate opening, of course. Do you wall off with your 2 gateways?
Yes.
You
And
do?
I actually leave a probe kind of hotkey, so I'm ready for the adepts and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. And we can put our 3rd pylon way out front the Nexus on the low ground so that we get extra warning. If we see shades coming in, that pylon sees them way ahead of time, gives us heaps of warning. Because our stalkers are going to dive across the map. We're like just going for the throat. We're like attack, 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 basically. So let's give it a go. I'll try and whisper in your ear a little bit, not too much. But essentially, let's go. I'm actually going to get the build order up over here on my second monitor as well, so I remind myself, because I kind of know the build, but not exactly. So I will bring up the reference.
So I immediately go out with the stalkers, right? So I don't, like first pressure with 2, then with 4, and then join everything.
Yeah. We can add a bit more technicality to it later. If we want, you know, like technically, like for now, I want you to hit the build. So we're not actually going to micro those stalkers. Like we'll go in, shoot, and if it's not like 2 stalkers versus 1, we'll just pull back to like just outside their base somewhere, like maybe 3/4 of the way across the map. Why? Because when you first learn a build, most important thing is getting the macro down, that rhythm. We can add the micro later. Micro is a little bit more intuitive and flexible. The build order should always be the same, right? So let's just focus on that build order for now. Don't tunnel vision too hard on the micro, and we should be able to get in the driver's seat in this game. All right, gateway goes down. He's going to do a nice early probe scout. So that's very safe against cannon rush. Sure, there's always one person who's like, you don't need to scout that early because blah, 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 and you can just respond with this to this and this to this. And it's like, yeah, but are you going to always respond that well? Are you? Usually no. So it's nice to do it this way. Mechanically, looks pretty good. Looks pretty tight. So far, I can hear the keyboard going. I can see, okay, 2 probes on each gas. Like, that's very focused on gas. So that's something we'll need to change. Let's focus on minerals just a little bit more here. Okay, what? Okay, hold on.
Game paused.
Okay. Hoping for a more normal game. Is this the only PvP build you do? Or?
Yeah. It's been a while since I did anything else.
Sorry. I meant to else do it. So he's proxy 4-gating, 3-gate forging you. Okay, we can fight versus this. We'll fight it out, cause good practice. But next game more normal. He says that's his standard PvP. It's a good all in. But I wanted this to get a more standard game. That's cool. Okay, so basically your probe has just seen no gas on either. No gases, not that many probes. So you immediately know it's some sort of all in, right? So off the top of your head, what is the exact response to any sort of proxy gate attack or cannon rush right now? What are the most important things in your head? Priority list.
Chronozealot, pylon, something like that. Get the core.
So what was that? Zealot and pylon, did you say?
Yeah, and then core. as soon as
Core.
possible.
Cool.
Maybe pull off gas, get only 3 mining, not 4.
Pull some workers off gas. That's a good idea. We should also pull a probe to go see what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And check with probe. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Game resumed.
I was watching from your camera, which is why I didn't realize till now. But good luck, mate. Good luck. That's funny. Thanks to El Stubit for helping us out. Obviously didn't mean to throw a wrench in things. Just, this is my normal PvP. This is how I play. Fair enough. May not I love you. Won't you have my man babies? You going on the pylon show, dude? Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Be funny if I didn't mute my mic and you could hear that. Cool. I'll be joining you guys in a little bit when my coaching's done. Maybe half an hour into the show, dude. You think that's a dick-sucking movement, Robbie? What the fuck, man? Never do this, guys. Never do this. So, a lot of people are really obsessed with walling off their base. If people are cannoning you on the low ground, walling off achieves nothing. It really does almost nothing. A lot of people are very obsessed with it. So, you need to pull a lot of probes to fight that. And high level... Oh, high level micro! He's got sick micro! But he didn't pull enough probes, so he's lost too much DPS. I mean, really sick micro. I'm really proud of him. Yeah, I can tell he's got good mechanics. Looking at the way Times Change plays, I'm like, oh, okay, like he's a gamer. I'm a gamer. Yeah, he's a gamer. He's got to get Stalkers out. The Zealots should have been rallied to this right-hand side this whole time. Unfortunately, gets depowered. And he's trying to do... He knows how to probe stack as well. It's not going to work, but... Oh, well. Alright, he got us. So don't leave the game. But we can rewind. Always rewind. How often do you use the rewind feature?
I usually don't play with partners, so not really often.
Even in ladder games, you should always use rewind. Every time you lose or win, doesn't matter. Always press...
I thought you meant the take control.
Oh, no, not that one, not that one. No. Just...
The rewind I used to.
Okay, yeah, do a quick... Good. That's such a good habit. Like, I would say 80%, 90% of the people I coach, they're like, oh no, I never rewind. And I'm always like, oh no, what are you... I'm like, dude, that's so powerful. Sorry, I think my internet just spiked there because we just dropped a bunch of frames. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I think it was like literally just a fraction of a second where it just went for a sec, but I think it's okay. So, I mean, we might as well talk about defending the little cheesy rush here. So what did we mess up on here? What was the most important thing you would change?
I really don't know. Like, I microed those zealots so poorly, and also I did not expect 3 zealots. So like maybe 2, that's fine, but like 3, scared me a lot, and really didn't know what to do.
We know what G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle, right? So, I mean, I really like that you put down a second pylon straight away. It's one of the most important things. But we absolutely needed to send a probe to go check, right? Because then if you saw, oh, it's 3 gateways, oh crap, like we would have just walled ourselves in straight away and just been like trying to get that cyber core up and trying to make adepts or stalkers, right? To deal with it. So that's important. So the other thing is, with your build order now, build order change. You're used to putting guys on gas straight away when those gases finish. New rule. I'll write it in the build order in the document so we are organized. Okay. Let's give it a heading. New build! 8 stalker pressure. So that's kind of the rough. So the actual build is standard 2-gate opening. And the way we're going to do this is only never go below 15 probes on minerals, right? Is kind of the thing. So if you go back to the point where you take your gas in this replay, or you can look at it on the stream if you just want to see me look at it, whatever's easier for you. There'll just be a few seconds delay. Basically, we would be like, okay, I've got, I'll pull 1 worker off because we've got 16 to go on gas. But from there, I would only rally onto the second gas geyser. because you're going to notice you drop yourself down to 12 workers on minerals from very early. So you're losing a lot of minerals, and especially with an 8 Stalker plus Nexus, we don't need a crazy amount of gas. We need, more importantly, just gateways, Nexus, pylon, like this Stalkers, this is, no tech for a long time. So this is just going to give you a lot more power. And what you'd find is you often probably were playing players who would take their gas a bit later and they have more money. And that's also going to make you more solid against cheese. Obviously, we messed up this game. We had like 4 on one gas, 1 on the other. But by default, you would have had like an extra 100 minerals to work with, which means you could have afforded the Cybercore, like, as well as the second pylon and the Zealot. So it would have made your life, like, way easier. And as we said, that probe took a while to come out and kind of scout for this. Could have gone and checked a little bit quicker. We probably could have cancelled that first cannon if we attacked it a little bit quicker as well, and then ran away. I don't mind walling off at first, but the moment the cannon is up in range, walling off does nothing for you. It achieves nothing. This is something I always see, like, Terran players get cannon rush. They keep trying to build a depot there, and all you're doing is giving damage to the opponent. It's just, once there's a cannon up in range, there's nothing you do. If it's only Zealots, the wall off is 100% the right call. But once there's a cannon, it just kills it straight away. You're much better off making more Zealots, trying to make shield batteries, Stalkers, more pylons on the right-hand side, etc. And you'll be all good. Some cool little micro that you did, like your probe pullbacks and stuff. Just remember, Zealots are tanky, and if you're going to ever fight a Zealot with probes, you need to pull like 12 probes to kill it. Because otherwise, every probe you pull away, you're losing damage output. And like you almost had perfect micro and could have killed that first Zealot with no probes going down. Instead, you lost 2 or 3. And then obviously we were too far behind from there. But that's cool. So new rule. We can put 2 workers on the first gas straight away, but then we just rally onto the extra gas. Make sure we never go below 15 probes on minerals. We leave that mineral focus, and we should be good. So let's host up the map.
Second gas geyser, right?
Yeah, still take it immediately, so that you can rally onto it. Yeah, like it's kind of sitting there for a few seconds, and then one probe's mining from it, and then another probe's mining from it. So like it's not being used very quickly, but we still just take it at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess El Super is not going to be available for the next session.
Okay, removed from party. Steven, are you around? Can you help us, dude? I don't know. Steven was responding. Let me see. Can you help us? Or in game. Looks like he's in a custom. FTE, I think, said they could help us. Are you still able to help us, FTE? I mean, you'd be the perfect one, but I know you said you were up late. I'm not sure if you're able to come join us. We need a 3600 MMR Protoss player who's willing to come onto NA or EU to chat channel Pig or Piggy. FTE was a Zerg. Oh! No. We need a Protoss player. Oh, okay. No, we're doing PvP coaching, guys. I forgot FTE was Zerg. Okay. There's a lot of Zerg tossers in my chat. I noticed there's a lot of people who play Zerg and Protoss. Thanks for hanging, everybody who's hanging out, guys. I appreciate the raid from Maynard, the gift, the sub from Rapid Fire. We're just going to get this next lobby going, but I am way too high MMR. I was responding to someone asking what the MMR was. Oh, no problem, mate. Okay. Wait. Steven doesn't even play Protoss, I don't think. He said it's still around low masters, though. Fair enough, that makes sense. All right. We need a roughly 3600 MMR Protoss player, guys. Anyone, off race, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to just drill this in an empty custom game, honestly. It doesn't really matter for the first game. Yeah, no problem, mate. Used to be so easy to find people to help us. I don't know. Something's been miscommunicated. I've said it like 37 times. Protoss player. And I'm just like surprised that people keep coming out and going, I'm a random Terran or something. I'm like, what? If you guys are 3600 MMR, anywhere in that range, you could be plus minus 300-400, and you play Protoss, even if it's your off race, if it's around that level, we would love you guys to help us out. It's about Diamond 3. Yeah, it's about Diamond 3. You could be Diamond 2. We could use El Stubit, but El Stubit's not really going to know how to play a normal Protoss vs Protoss, which is fine. As long as they don't do that build again, we'll be all good. It's a real nasty all in, that one. It's got no follow-up because there's no gas and a pretty bad probe count. But
Yeah, if they get you, they get you.
they get you, yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, if you guys want to help us, please hop in chat channel Pig and Piggy and shout out there. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go. Macro opening, expand build, please. Good luck, good luck. It's okay. So sometimes people hop in these games and then you do your attack and they're like, "What? You told me to do a macro build. I died." And I'm like, that's kind of the point, guys. This is what training partner is about. A lot of people think every StarCraft game has to be about stabbing your opponent in the throat as hard and fast as you possibly can and win. And it's like, that's actually not how you improve at anything. It's like, sometimes you've got to just be the test dummy for your opponent, you know, hold the pads for your boxing partner, right? And then they can do the same for you. That's like actually how you train and get better. And you can try to open up your mind and understand what their build is and how it works, and also have a good think about how to counter it while you're holding the pads. And go, okay, I know how to beat this if I'm actually trying to counter it. So anyways, for now, get your normal build going. Just remember, only 2 workers on the first gas, and then just rallying onto the second gas, staying on 15 workers on minerals and above. I'm going to shut the hell up, let you get in that rhythm. Good luck, mate. Awesome. Yeah, Diamond 3. I knew it was about Diamond 3, guys. Protoss player. Leaky Rel said, I'm a 3500 Protoss. Seem to understand both areas. You would be the perfect player, Leaky Rel. Are you capable of playing a PvP with us? Can you please do me a favor? Sorry for being condescending. I'm just... So many people in chat are so confused about how this works. Please hop in chat channel Pig or Piggy. All you need to do is type /join space Piggy into your chat channel in game. You'll be in there. Once we're done this game, shout out in chat, in game, the in-game chat channel. Go, hey, I'm a 3600 Protoss, and we will match you guys. You can play a PvP. Me and Times Change can help him refine this build order and get it down real tight. And we would really appreciate that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have as well, since you're helping us out being a practice partner. I'm not going to obviously give you a goddamn treatise on how to play the matchup and improve every detail, but I'm happy to, you know, answer a few pointed questions that you have. Appreciate the support, guys. Exclamation mark join Pig. I hate you, Tartarus. I'm so triggered right now. I'm so triggered. Dead pylon on the logo. Yep, get that pylon down. Very nice. And we can just stay at this worker count. We don't need to queue up any more probes after that. Let's get those next stalkers going. And rally them straight across the map. Get that 4th stalker going. Rally them to these stalkers. A-move them across the map. So remember, because we're focusing on the macro, so it's like trying to make sure we remember to start the next 2 stalkers immediately. After we start the next 2 stalkers, that's when we build the pylon, okay?
Okay.
And we want the pylon to be reasonably close, so a bit closer than where your probe is now. Once you start fighting, like I said, just pull back with your stalkers to like roughly where they are now. You don't need to go, you know, too deep in there, and we should be good. Beautiful. Chrono boost your warp gate in about 10 seconds when you get chrono boost energy. All right, pull back with those stalkers. So that pylon, normally a little bit too close, maybe just a little further back from there would be good. That's fine for now. We don't need to change it, but just for future. Okay, so start your Nexus. And then as these 2 stalkers pop out, we are going to warp in 2 stalkers on the front to join them up. And we can set the rally point down to your natural now and get ready to chrono probes after we warp in these stalkers. So gateways are transforming. Stalkers are all joining up. Now, right now, you're standing on the low ground, so that's a really bad place to stand. You either stand on the high ground or way further back. And let's warp in those 2 stalkers, and you can see this joins up really nicely. The last stalker's trailing in as these finish. And at this point, you really don't want to show your hand until all of them are together and then go. So chrono probes, and get a robo started behind it, and then attack with your stalkers. Robo Twilight. I wasn't sure what we'd have enough money for. Go, go, go. Stalkers, stalkers, go, go, go. So sometimes we'll go in with the stalkers, then we'll build those, and we can basically charge and shoot that void ray. Charge up the ramp. Yeah. So if you catch them with this few units, you always go for the throat. Yeah, just stay right there, and now you can fight on the ramp. You can just kill the probes now. So warp in adepts on your pylon, and focus on your macro. If you already warped in stalkers, it's not the end of the world. And keep chronoing probes. And now, basically, because you warped in stalkers, you want to just go home and defend now. Let's focus on the macro, okay? Sometimes, if those were adepts, you shade those into the main now and micro them, but that's fine. So we're going to go immortal, sentries, blah, 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 standard units. So normally from here, we'd go charge, we'd add a forge, we'd go +1. Let's still get the forge like normal. So let's add the forge when we can. Probe production is the most important thing that we never stop. And get another pylon as well, since your pylon in the front will die.
At the front?
Anywhere, yeah, wherever goes. I mean, I like to put them around my main to see drops coming in. Sometimes I like to put it behind my natural. It's up to you. So, let's pause for a sec.
Game paused.
1 sec. So you did some great damage. Could have done even more if we killed that first void ray a little bit quicker. If we just moved onto the ramp and shot at a second volley straight away, right? That's fine. You're always going to be able to look at your replays of this and go, how could I... Oh, I could have gone with those stalkers 10 seconds earlier as well. Okay, you know, and then I could have built the Robo Twilight after they were in there on the ramp fighting. You're going to come up with your own little rules for optimizing it, but let's write down the next couple of points. Never go below 15 probes on minerals. Non-stop stalkers. First 2 chronoed. And rallied across the map, right? And what was it? It was after 5th plus 6th stalker nexus plus 5th and 6th stalker. Then we build the pylon on the front. And then we warp in those stalkers and get ready to attack. And what do we do behind that? We go Robo Twilight. Then we go Forge. And then we go up to... We go 4 more gateways. Right? Basically, we go steadily, you know, add gates up to 8 gates, however it feels natural for you. Stop at 45 probes, which is what? Full 2 base saturation. Templar Archives is the last piece of tech, because you just warp in the Archons as the cherry. And then we go for a push with a few Immortals, Sentries, Archons, and lots of Zealots. And obviously, we can add little notes on how we engage. Notes! Always dive up the ramp with Stalkers or something like that. If that always works for you, that can be your rule, right? And you adjust that based on the meta and like what you really enjoy doing with this build. But we can also add another note, which is like Warp Prism always hits main and warps in Zealots while attacking front with Immortal Archon, right? So even if you lose the fight on the front, you kill their economy and their production, and then, you know, you're still in the game. You can come up with your own little rules. Right now, we're in a game where your opponent's building Void Rays, which is a little weird. We might want to make a few more Stalkers. Other than that, we don't want to change anything in your build, unless you see him going multiple Stargates and, like, massing Void Rays, okay? So a lot of people panic and freak out when they see 1 or 2 Void Rays. You already killed 2 Void Rays. So, I mean... We're going to hallucinate scout anyway for follow-up info. This is why we always have 2 or 3 sentries, so we can just keep seeing what's going on. So 30 seconds from now, 10 seconds, whenever, you'll start hallucinate scouting. For now, just follow the game plan. So, what's next? We just got the Forge down. We're on 2 gates. We're probing. What's next in the build order?
The gates?
Hells yeah. What's the rule for the gases on the natural? Do you think maybe just wait till you got 16 probes on your natural, then take both gases, or...?
I usually go for 14, because it kind of syncs up. The gases are done as you have enough probes to just...
I like that rule. So we're almost there. So 14 probes on natural equals add gases. I think that's a really good rule. Awesome, man. All right, let's do that. So let's just add gateways, add the gases, warp in a few more Stalkers, and then just work our way up to 8 gateways, you know, and get that big push going. Okay. You ready? Let's go.
Game resumed.
Good luck, man.
Thanks.
He's doing really good, guys. I can tell he's got some good understanding of some of the different pieces as well. So we've just got to kind of... we've mapped out most of the notes from here. I think I can take a step back and let's think big picture. I've pointed out enough details that are going to revolutionize this matchup for him, hopefully. I think this counters enough different builds. I mean, we can obviously talk about, hey, wait a second, in this scenario, this is what a proxy build looks like. That could be really helpful, especially if the player... who was it who said they were going to help? It was Rail or something? Leaky Rail. Leaky Rail, do you know how to do a proxy? Proxy robo or anything like that? Because we don't necessarily need that yet, but we might want to utilize that practice. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, so you see this, you're like, oh, I mean, there's still Void Rays building, but it's like one Void Ray at a time, right? One Void Ray at a time, you can just warp in a few more Stalkers, you're fine. You don't even really care about it because Archons wreck Void Rays. Void Rays just don't do enough damage to them. So this is pretty cool. Pylon explosion, yeah. So like you should be building like 5 pylons right now. Whenever you do a gateway explosion like that, we should be like, all right, we know we're gonna hit a supply block. Let's go crazy on it. Templar Archives as well. It's that last little chariot. And make sure you get that prism going. Often prism after 2 immortals just to make sure we remember it. If you have a habit of forgetting it. If you're always good with your robo anyway, you can chill, right? But yeah, this should be really nice. So start making lots of zealots. If you want, you can make a few more stalkers, but I wouldn't bother because you can just make archons from here. So having like 5 stalkers, 2 sentries, that's enough anti-air. Just add a few archons as we get across the map, and yeah, go punch your opponent in the face whenever you're ready. If you end up floating money, you can always build a 3rd nexus behind it, but don't probe at all. We'll just use that for transferring workers to. And if the game gets a bit scrappy, we might use it for building probes, but otherwise we're just getting our attack going, committing decisively, and hopefully kicking some ass. So what you want to look at, guys, when you do this is your gas count.
Okay.
Archons first. You've got enough for 3 Archons. So every 300 gas is an Archon. You got 900 gas, you got awesome. 3 Archons, and then non-stop Zealots from there. Build some more Pylons. And good luck. You might want to hallucinate scout ahead. But kick some ass, man. You got it. So this is also why I would go up to 10 gateways a lot of the time. People go, why? You don't need that. You can't support that production. He wasn't warping in non-stop, so this can happen. Oh, no Guardian Shield and no A move. What's he doing? Oh, no! Oh, my God. Now he's on hold position. What? A move. A move. Your units are on hold position. Ah. I don't know what happened there, but you move commanded into his army. I'm not sure if you tried to focus fire, and then you accidentally, oh, I don't know if you did on purpose, but you did a hold position as well. And all we needed to do there was attack move. And very rarely do you need to do anything more than attack move in most of these fights. Maybe spread out a bit before the fight, activate Guardian Shield. But like this composition is all about activate Guardian Shield and attack move. Maybe pull your Zealots behind your army so that they engage after the fight started. But otherwise, it's pretty chilled. And we want to go for the throat. So, good stuff. So your opponent had no solid core to their force. You know, was trying to get these +1 Void Rays. Great at killing Stalkers, but they're not good at killing anything else. So obviously, you know, this is the solid composition in PvP for a reason. Immortal Archon Charge, that's pretty good. That was really good, dude. That was very clean overall. Was the hold position on purpose, or was it an accident?
It was a complete misclick. I don't know. Was I trying to warp in something? I have no idea.
Okay, good. I'd much rather that be a random panic misclick than... I'm like, why would you hold position in this fight? Like, I was like, there's some weird reasoning going on, man. Yeah, your Zealots were just standing in front of your sentries. I was like, what are they doing? It's just so weird. Oh man, it was really good though. You remember the third pylon? You had your probe on the low ground, ready for the third pylon right after the stalkers. We stay pretty low on probes, right? Because we're hitting this sharp attack, but then we chrono probes and we kind of go Robo Twilight behind it. So if you find it easier, you can go Robo Twilight then chrono probes, just so that you can obviously it's easier to start probes while microing your stalkers, right? Whereas looking at home to place a Robo and a Twilight's a bit harder. Whatever works for you. I think that was a really good first run through. Now, if you're still around, Rael, who is going to help us out, please shout out in the chat channel right now so I can find you in game. Chat channel Piggy /join space pig /join space pig. If that's not working for you, if you can't see us in there, please shout out in Twitch chat and I can figure it out with you. But there was a 3500 Protoss who was gonna help us out. It was Leaky Rail. Sorry, I keep calling you something else, but oh, what's up, Ganoy? No, I don't have any affiliate links for Magic. Isn't it free? Or is it, oh, you mean like for buying gems and stuff? Hey, we got a player. Canadians here. Are you Canadian Jihad from chat? All right. Thanks for help, by the way, El Stubit.
Oh yeah, thanks.
We probs don't need ya, but happy to have you, obs, if you want to chill. This is Canadian Mike. We got a few Canadians. Canadian Jihad, Canadian Mike. All right, let's host a different map, I guess. You don't veto any, so we'll go Simulacrum. We're sticking with small maps. I mean, they're a bit better for this build order because Stalker's hitting hard, but you can do it on any map. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they aren't as weird as Golden Wall.
Exactly. Oh, actually, do we want to practice against a more aggressive kind of maybe a proxy or like a one base, like something that's going to throw us into a bit of chaos? Or do we want to just play against another expand build, which can still get action packed? What would you rather? Would you rather rehearse the build right now? It kind of comes out at times because we probably only got enough time for like one game left. Do we rehearse the build in a more relaxed scenario, or do we just jump in the deep end of the pool and kind of go, oh, you can do some more just practicing the build order later? Which one do you prefer here?
Yeah, I can practice the build order later. We can do something aggressive, so you can, yeah.
Awesome.
I love that.
DM me. Don't reveal in chat anymore. I got build for you here. I'm telling him the build so he doesn't tell you.
Okay.
So don't look at the stream if you got the stream open because I don't want you to know. Throw you in the deep end of the pool. I heard that my parents and grandparents' generation, that's how they learn how to swim. They just pick up the kid, throw it in the pool. The kid would be like screaming its heart out. And maybe half the time its instincts would kick in and it would figure out how to swim. And the other half, they'd have to dive in and get it out and be like, oh, this one doesn't have the knowing how to swim automatically gene, apparently. Awesome. He's good. He's ready. So let's just do our build. I've given him a specific build order that'll just make things a little bit more difficult for you, add a bit more variety. You might still just kill him with the 8 stalkers. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's do it. This is going to be fun. So just remember, keep that mineral saturation high at the start. Just rally onto your gases a bit slower. Third pylon right after starting those 2 stalkers because we're going to chrono them. And that, of course, means we're going to get supply blocked very quickly if we don't start that pylon straight away. You did a really good job with it yesterday. Keep doing it, man. Yesterday, I mean, last game. You know what I mean. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Let's
kick some ass. All right. You notice he did the overgassing thing at the start again? Did he? I was not paying attention to that. I thought he didn't, but that's cool. He'll fix it. We reminded him. He'll get the hang of it. We're already, even by giving him an opponent, jumping in the deep end. If you guys actually want to learn a build order properly, here's how you do it. You do what we're doing here with no opponent on the other side of the map. Just go continue game. Do your build order up to the 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark, whatever the key point is. Depends. If it's a macro-oriented build, you might go to 8 or 9 minutes. Go to that point, just making sure you hit everything perfectly and that you can do it without having to look at your document. Try to do it all off the top of your head. If there's a point where you can't remember it, pause the game, go back to your notes, memorize. I got to do this, then this, then this. So you're committing it to memory, and then you're giving it at least 3 or 4 games, preferably 5, 6, depending on how quick you pick things up. And then you're letting that muscle memory settle. So it settles like a layer until the point where it feels a bit more natural and you can do it. And then you take it on ladder. And despite it feeling natural with no opponent and no things distracting you, you're going to start fucking it up really bad. Remember just to go 2 on each gas, not 3. Let's get that second pylon going. So with your second pylon, in future you always want to put that next to your mineral line so we can build a shield battery. It's not a big deal for now. Also with this pylon location, that doesn't power that gateway. You need to put it right up against this gateway to power that. A pylon can power 2 3x3 structures as long as they are packed in right next to it in every direction. You can do that. 2 3x3 structures. That's how long the power field extends. Okay, game 2. +3.
I am here in the shadows.
Not the probes.
I am here in the shadows.
Just 2 on each gas, 16 on minerals, then final 1 on each gas. So you built the third pylon up here, not down there, which is fine. So we forgot to run away with our probe, and now our build order is kind of screwed up a little bit. Because we don't have a probe on the map to proxy. So we go, oh shit.
Game
So we're going to remake, and this is the power of a custom game. We're punching the pads, man. So we go, okay, let's just remember to leave. So with your probe scout, just check it's the normal looking build. Hey, they're starting 2 gateway units. Cool, let's go get out of there and go to our location. If you want, you can search for proxies a little bit with it ahead of time. Queue it up to check a few spots and then go to your proxy location. But let's just make sure we leave that base on time. And this is what I love about doing custom games. And sometimes people get they're like, oh, don't just leave the game. But if you're like practicing with a partner, it makes perfect sense. You make a fundamental little mistake. You're trying to get a new build order down. It's like, I don't know, it's 3 minutes. Who cares? Let's just go again. Go toss. Good luck. Let's do it. Awesome. So just remember, with the putting 2 guys on gas, once you got 2 on the gas, change the Nexus rally to the other gas. And then, so you can kind of like play with that Nexus rally point a little bit more. It'll feel really good. Yeah. Yeah, looking good, man. So second pylon next to the mineral line, so we can put down a shield battery. And then the third pylon out front, so we got plenty of warning if adepts come in. Good luck, mate.
Third out front. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot.
Yeah, because you were covering the mineral line with the third one because your second hadn't done it. So I was okay with it because you know it all started with the second one. So no worries, we should be good. All right, looking nice. So 2 on each gas, 16 on minerals, then final 1 on each gas. Pylons. So we can write some pylon rules, guys. Pylons. Second next to Nexus. So battery can go in main mineral line, but close enough to Nexus so fast warp in pylon, right? So you want it here or here. You don't want it back there because then it's not a fast warp in pylon. So you go to warp Stalkers into Defended Oracle, slow Stalker warp ins. So you need it to be close to the Nexus, right? So that's the second. Third pylon out front, low ground, to see adepts coming in. And you can come up with your own rules. Some people are like, oh, well, even with this build, if they go proxy robo, I end up losing my low ground pylon and it supply blocks me while my stalkers are hitting his base. I prefer to put a pylon here as well as there, so these gateways are extra powered, can't be depowered if it goes into a kind of little base trade situation. And that way, I don't expose it on the low ground, and I don't mind not seeing those adepts until they shade in, because my stalkers usually see the adepts. Perfect, like logical, right? So every now and then I'll get someone in chat kind of asking that question, like I heard it in my head. I heard like a voice in chat going, well, I prefer to do it this way. Is that wrong? Oh, it's totally right. You guys can do it however the fuck you want. There's like 1,000 variations you can do, you know. There's a lot of style. There's not necessarily a right or wrong in many of these positions. He sent scout. He was supposed to do what with the second probe? The probe's meant to scout. It did, and then it goes and hides at the proxy, which he's doing a good job of. So notice he's a bit undersaturated in his main right now.
I thought I put it down. Ah!
No, you're all right. Oh, yeah, right. We forgot that. That's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll just recover from here. So we're a little bit low on the minerals in the main. So you got to remember to move that rally point around as well. And we can still follow the same build. So let's still queue up the third and fourth gateway unit. And go from there. More stalkers. More stalkers. Awesome. All right. So we're still, we've got a probe following a probe in our main mineral line. It's all right. No more probe production from here, remember? So let's, we want to try and get a Nexus and a 5th and 6th Stalker now. Because our mineral mining, we weren't at 16 for a long time there. Oh, you got multiple probes following a probe. Your rally point in your main is on a probe, that's why.
Oh, come on.
So, yeah. All right. So now we want to get that Nexus going. And then the pylon at the proxy, okay? So often before starting these two gateway units, we can go Nexus, then the 5th and 6th gateway unit, and pylon proxy usually after the Nexus. We got it a bit early this game, but that's fine. It's more important to get our attack going than anything else. So if you want, you can attack with these 4 Stalkers and then pull back and then go for the 8 Stalker attack. But just make sure you're still hitting everything at the same time. I threw him off by talking in his ear and correcting him. He was playing more naturally and actually hitting the build order better before. But yeah, that was good. He damaged a Stalker. Phoenix production's a little slow. Not crazy slow, but a little... Yeah, it's a bit slow. The Phoenix production's a bit slow. That's rough. And with only 1 pylon powering here, that's kind of nasty. So the problem is he already poked with 4 Stalkers, so this makes no sense. That 4 Stalker poke, because all that does is warn your opponent about what you want to do and take some damage. Throw it down and get in there. Those Stalkers need to go, 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 go. Get up that ramp. YOLO! Go, go, go! Nice. Yeah, keep focus firing. Keep kicking it. Good shit, man. All right. And then shift click some units or A move and warp in more Stalkers. We're going to try and win with this. Get up that ramp. Warp in more Stalkers. Go, go, go. Hey.
Okay.
Those Stalkers, you can always pull those to the left, and then your Stalkers on the low ground can still fight. So you can still do a lot of damage here. Awesome. All right. Pull back. Okay. So just group up, go home, and macro up from here. He's on 1 base. We're on 2. So we're going to chrono... about 7 or 8 probes. No more than that. And what do we make behind this? Remember? Sentries, a forge, immortals. And we're going to scout with a hallucination as soon as we get energy. Why? Because he's on 1 base and we're on 2. So like I said, we want to queue up a handful more probes, maybe 10 on our natural. And then don't build any more probes. Just make pylons, shield batteries, gateways, right? Most of all, production, gateways, pylons first. Because we want to make sure we don't die. If he's on 1 base, we already know, even if he builds a Nexus straight away when we left, he's behind. So we're just chilling for now, getting our stuff up, and we're going to have that hallucination energy in just a sec.
I return to serve.
Awesome. Do you lose a meaningful amount of mining when you have a single pylon or battery or cannon in your mineral line? It is a little bit. I don't know how much it adds up to, Oblivious. I would rather only do it when I have to, because obviously it is annoying. And I would say always put it next to the Nexus. Don't put it next to the patch. It's easier for them to go around it there than it is because they've got to touch each mineral patch in a specific little minimal area, whereas the Nexus has a lot of surface area. Never pull probes from Phoenix. It achieves nothing. Basically with Phoenix, you just rebuild your probes and chrono them, and you can take the damage on the face, no worries. Alright. So we've seen our opponents expanded with our hallucination. So chrono probes, non-stop probe production, we know we're safe, right? We've got immortals, we're good. So we can just chrono probes, we're getting up that gateway count, and you are looking beautiful in this game. Just chrono the probes, get the upgrades, keep making a few more Stalkers to deal with these Phoenix, and we are into the Charge Lot Archon from there. Good stuff, mate. You're in control. Just build to the preset attack. We have that goal in sight, minutes ahead of time. And Mortal Archon Charge Lot. So important. One of the most powerful things in StarCraft is having a goal, guys. This is why having a pre-planned attack is so important, because it gives you a strategic hinge to focus on. Everything you're doing is building in a direction, and obviously flexibility is important in StarCraft, but flexibility should always come off the back of preset attacks. So this is how you guys should improve your thinking, is have a pre-planned attack where you're going to go and punch your opponent in the fucking face repeatedly. And it could be really simple and straightforward. Like in this attack, we don't know what's going on. Why are we doing a 45 probe Mortal Archon Charge? It's just a natural strong point. We get some Archons, we get some Immortals, we get +1, we get charge. We make a lot of units. It's simple. It allows us to focus on executing properly, because we're not getting so strategically dense. So we forgot to build the 6 pylons. Remember, as those gateways are building, whenever we go the gateway explosion, we need an insane pylon explosion. All matchups, this is something you want to build in as like a trigger. It's like usually as those gateways are getting to like halfway done, it's always like build 1 billion pylons and we'll be good. But you're in a pretty good spot. Do we have Templar Archives? We do. So this time you don't have as much gas because you haven't put your guys back on gas. So you do need to kind of try to make Archons, but you'll only have enough for 2 by the looks of it. So when you get 600 gas, you'll have enough for 2 Archons, and other than that, just Zealots. Uh-oh. Good luck.
Oh,
Does he recall? It's his call. Oh, that ain't gonna work. I like it. Canadian went for the attack first. Bit of a desperate all-in from Canadian. If times change, had even 2 Archons up, he would have been good. Got caught with our pants down there. That's why we use those hallucinations a little bit more frequently. Only need 1 Guardian Shield. So the moment you're thinking about moving out, and even before that, that's just that that hallucination habit, right? It's just hallucinated Phoenix, find his army. Hallucinated Phoenix, check what his army looks like. In this game, we actually didn't even need to attack because he wasn't even taking gases on his natural. You can see this is just Zealots, Phoenix, Stalkers. Doesn't even have +1 attack. So we were way ahead in hindsight. But we're learning a new build. This is going to happen, and I want your ladder games to go like this. I would rather you focus on blindly following your timing and focus on things like, I got supply blocked. My gateways were a little late. For the first 10, 15 games on ladder, just focus on those things. And once it becomes a little bit more natural, then you can start to be a little bit more hard on yourself when you, I forgot to hallucinate Scout and he came in and surprised me. Why wasn't I just sitting at home? What did I do? You know. But for the first 10, 15 games, just focus on the first issues, right? So when you go back to this replay, we go, shit. What do? We say, I forgot my second pylon. That is the most important thing. After that, what's the most important thing from that? You know what? If we think about it, I did get supply blocked really bad after all my gateways finished. That's those focus on those 2 big things. That's it. You're moving forward. You're getting better. You're getting more natural with this build every game. And the second pylon, you get that on time, you probably win that game. Your Stalker attack just hits faster, right? So you probably just kill him. And we already did some good damage with it, but we could have done even more there. And you're going to notice going up that ramp every time, your heart rate's jumping, right? I'm sure it is. Because every Protoss player running up a ramp with Stalkers like that, I know what's up there. But as you start doing this, just always dive for the ramp. Always dive for the ramp. you're going to get so comfortable with it, you're going to actually be able to just calmly look at the situation and kind of roll with the punches a bit more. And like when you've done the damage or the attack fizzles or whatever, you just go home and do your next step. And even if you don't do that much damage, you've got the nexus, you've got the tech coming down. So it's really good. It trains you to just kind of take a deep breath and look at the exact scenario. F you, ladder. It just removed me from GM, one of my races. Ow. Ow. Oh, it was random. I haven't played enough random games in the last couple of weeks. I was like, I didn't lose many games as Terran today. That was surprising.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out of time, mate. So we are going to do another hour another day. Just hit me up when you're ready to do that on Discord or email, and we can figure it out. For now, I've made you party leader, so I would love you guys to play some more games, because I think you're well matched. We're out of time, but you two should play some more games, and you know, jam it out. Lots of notes there. So tomorrow, when your brain's a bit fresher, go back and read over the notes we wrote. And just try to rewind your replays and just try to hit that build. And remember, benchmark when your first 8 stalkers hit, as well as benchmark when your big 45 probe attack hits. So you write down when those attack hits, how many units you have, and that way you can track your progress. So even if you lose a game, if you hit like a really crisp, fast timing, be proud of yourself, even if you had no detection and DTs killed everything and you lost the game. You know, still be like, well, I hit a really crisp timing. Like, you know, obviously it's not everything. It's a strategy game, but it's a big advantage. Awesome, man. I think that's really good.
Thanks so much.
All right, well, have a good night, man. Really good first sesh, and I will see you next time. So don't be a stranger, and shoot me a message when you're ready to book in the next one.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Laters, man. All right, good little session there, guys.